friends, Teacher Sophie here, and I am here with my friends that are going to help me with lesson today. So we're talking about the story of Doubting Thomas. If you want to go back and watch it, the video is called Storytime Doubting Thomas, and you could just watch it so you know what we're talking about. So friends, we're going to start out with a game. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. It's called the opposite game. So I'm going to say something, and you're going to tell me the opposite of that thing, okay?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. So what's the opposite of down? Yes. And what's the opposite of night? Yes?
Day.
So good. What is the opposite of hot?
Cold.
Yes. And what's the opposite of sad? Yeah?
Happy.
That's so good, guys. I think you have the hang of it. All right, we're going to do a bit of a harder one. What is the opposite of doubt? Yes?
Is it fate?
Yeah, that's really good. So for you friends out there that don't know what doubt is when you're very unsure of something, when you have a hard time believing, it's just not feeling sure or confident about something. So I'm gonna do a fun exercise. So I'm gonna tell you that there's a toy inside of this bag. There's a toy inside this bag. Are you having a hard time believing me?
It's a bag.
Yeah, it is a bag. Well, what if I had a friend come over and say that they looked inside and they're like, yep, there's a toy in this bag.
But what if the friend was wrong and just trying to be funny?
That's true. That could be. What if like a bunch of other friends came over, looked in the bag and was like, yeah, there's a toy in there? Would it still be hard to believe?
I mean, or I could just look in the bag myself.
That's a really good point. Sometimes it's really hard to believe what other people say because we want to be able to look at it and touch it ourselves. Here it is. Here's the toy. So there was a toy in the bag, but I think all of you friends wanted to actually see the toy and touch it with your hands even. But sometimes we can't always do that with things. You know, it's kind of like Jesus. We can't always see him, but we can believe that he's there because of the other things that we feel when we're around his presence. So this is what Thomas was having a hard time with in the story. All of his friends told him that Jesus was alive and that he was back and he was around, but Thomas was having a hard time believing because he couldn't see Jesus, he couldn't touch Jesus. They were just telling him things, and he wanted to actually see and touch and talk to Jesus before he would actually believe what they were saying. So Jesus did come and he did show up for Thomas, but it took him that. So Jesus said something really, really important when Thomas came up to him. He said, Thomas, blessed are those who have seen me and still believe anyway. So, can you see Jesus all of the time? Yeah. Well, how do we see Jesus in our own lives? Can you guys think of ways that we see Jesus in our own lives?
When I give someone a hug.
Yeah, the love that you feel when you give somebody a hug. That's so good.
When I go on a walk with my mommy and my daddy.
Yeah, and you see all the pretty nature.
Yeah.
And you feel your parents close and that they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And sometimes we can feel him when we feel peace inside our hearts, or when we're worshiping and we feel so much joy. Those are all ways that we can feel Jesus even though we can't see him. So now friends, we're gonna go back to the first thing that we played the opposite game with. What is the opposite of unbelief?
Unbelief. Belief?
Yeah, it's belief. And that's the same thing as faith, like our friend said earlier. So faith and belief is the opposite of doubt. So when we can't see something and we still believe that it's there, that's called faith. So I just want to bless you friends as you practice growing that faith muscle as you begin to believe in Jesus, even in the times that you can't see him, that you would have such an amazing journey with Jesus, and that he would show up in your life so beautifully, and yeah, that you would just have so much fun with your family as you learn about faith. Bye.
Bye-bye.